Hello, everybody. We have a prize wall to break down. This one, a lot of really good things. This is going to be one of those do what's best for your roster kind of deals. So we're looking at about 150 that are free. These are, you know, prize wall medallions that we can get by not having to spend and then even not finishing the feud. Uh, that should put us at about 150. If you get the 30 coins, which is also free, it's just time consuming, right? You know, we have to sit there, feud. So, to get the 30 coins will net you another 30, and you will get those from doing the 30 loot pools, right? So, we have a minimum of the 150 with a high of the 180. And then, of course, we also get some more from the leaderboard. So let's see, here we go. Okay, and this goes all the way to 1,000. So even if you come between 901 and 1,000, let's call it that, you could still walk away with 2 gears if you max the feud. In fact, it's the 2 gears that are in this $50 offer, where you'll get both the live and the dom gear. The dom gear is in the last milestone, and the live would be obtainable. Where are we going? The live would be obtainable from the prize wall. Not necessarily the best choice, but it is an option. So, Liv's fine. She's actually really strong. I feel like to make this offer appealing for $50, they went ahead and made her gear just kind of shitty. But so is Dom's. This isn't like the gear that we chased for Naomi, which is why it's not a stupid, crazy, hard to reach milestone. The one that they did for Dom is really underwhelming. Live with 2 MP. Sure, that keeps us from needing 17k Santa. Makes her a little bit stronger, but not anything that's game changing. Not even a little bit. So, both of them are fine though if we're not spending, right? They're both welcomed as free options. Moving on, we have more gears down here, and the Black Widow one is again underwhelming. 100% gem damage just doesn't push the needle when you've got Yeet gear and things like that doing 300%, and then you've just introduced Rhea and Becky doing 300 million in health. You need something better than this. This is, to me, this is a flop. It's not enough. So, moving forward past that, what is good? The punk gear is good. It actually fixes his stupid face. Moving past that, let's go ahead and put a big red X on these two. They are not good in the current meta. They weren't really that great in the previous meta. Dexter was fine in the 6-star silver, kinda, but not ever really in the 6-star gold. This one is okay. She's still turn 2, right? But it's a stun move, and that's typical of stuns. Stuns are typically turn 2. This one is not bad either. This one's okay as well. Not anything that's going to be game changing, game defining, but both okay options. Montez still not good. We still don't have a good Montez in the game. So keep that in mind. Just because you don't have that gear, that is not a chase gear. Huge. More so than the AJ gear, I think. I feel that way. This is priced higher because it's new, but this is more impactful for that character than the AJ gear is for sure. Personal opinion. And I know many that would agree with me on that. All right, so once we get past all that, let's say that we're not interested in the gears, but we want to chase shards. Keep in mind, those are Valentine's Day gears. Usually, you typically can't get them outside of Valentine's Day, so it is something to keep in mind if you are saying, oh, I'll get them later down the road. They might be in the armor loot, but if you look in the armor loot now, you won't find the Bianca gear or the Dexter gear, the ones from the past, I don't believe. All right, past that, really huge stankin' shards all around. Huge. These are not at a free to play level. You will at least need to be a top 200 player to get some of them. Um, if not a top 100. So do keep that in mind, and maybe even a slight bit of spend. Again, very good options here, all with really nice shard levels. No, she's fine. It's just there's too many good options on here. She's kind of one of the weaker of those options. Well, her and Abby hit about the same. Um, so those two. But the thing Abby does is she unlocks the moment if you don't have Howdy, right? So there is that. They have been pushing out a lot of these. They're making it to where even free to play can obtain it. You see that price tag of 114. They had 500 of her on the previous prize wall. You should have gotten half of her shards, if not past that, during her event back in December. So you should be getting close if you're properly chasing Kelly Kelly. If you're not, then shame on you. I don't want to hear 6 months from now, well, I don't have her. They've had plenty of opportunities to get her. Yes, you have to pass on other things. But at that price tag, why would you not when she's very good for first? Secondly, she's the only PG era that you want to use when it comes to females. And down here, these are newer. Fuck no. Fuck no. Um, you should have gotten this guy from the key milestones. And this is huge. Both of these ladies are top tier. They are some of the best in the game. Yes, you need things to make them hit, but they are some of the best in the game. This is fine. He is still fantastic. One of the strongest males in the game. This one is just call this a collector's piece, but not a bad price tag for that. We're not concerned with the butt plug unless you don't have one for your Kelly. I'm not overly thrilled with this Rumble. It's just okay. Outside of that, we get to our plates. These are available in other places. I don't like that one. I don't really care for that one, although it's good for Bradshaw. But at that price tag, I feel like you could get that cheaper elsewhere. This is really a steal at that price. This is a steal at that price. If you don't have the gear or the 8th anniversary, it's a trap plate. This gear is, or this plate is fantastic for Bliss, for Trickster Bliss. Fantastic for her. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to make a cheap mega, then by all means, 70 loot coin. It's basically what you're going to get from the mega, but if you want an opportunity to pull at for Chyna or any of the others, you can get the 70 from simply doing the contest. You could max the contest, and that would put you needing 3, which you can easily get for, let's find our cheapest offer, $6.99, and a fuse up for Punk gets you 2, and then you would do a $2.99 for 1, or that's 10 bucks. $10 would get you, but See, I don't like this because it doesn't give you any loot coins, and Dom is not really anything special. So it definitely looks like you're going to end up doing a $2.99 and then scroll up and do, I would do this $4.99. So $6 plus that plus maximum feud gets you a cheap mega under $10. Um, if you don't pull often, that's going to be so worth it. If you do that once a month and get to do 1 mega a month, they will start to pay off. Maybe not every time, but you get huge chunks for the free S tier. But let's say you don't typically get the S tier during their release month. That would be a big win. She's very good. There's posters with the gears. So opportunities for all of them. All four of these are some of the best in the game. Same with this section here. And then we start to drift off a little bit with, the Mark Henry. He's in there because he's newer, but still some really strong posters up in here. All of them. Very, very strong. All the way until you start to get into even KO. KO is still top dog, right? Mark Henry's probably the worst that I've seen so far. Easily. Strowman, I don't really know if there's much use with him anymore outside of his training ability, but at least he has that. Mark Henry does not. And I hate that because I love Mark in real life. Dom's not great. All right, now we're starting to get into the fluff, and we didn't even change sections, did we? Start getting into the fluff of the crap. Not the fact that they put Raquel down there with all the rest of the garbage is terrible. And then you end with Jacob and Vader, right? So a lot of good options. You could always get your Not Elias. He is always guaranteed to be in there. Same with Brutus. He's always guaranteed to be in there. And then you've got some low shards at the end, but some of them are big. Notice, again, Kelly shards. Huge. EO, these are decent. She's still very, very strong. Low on the mommy shards. That's to be expected. And then you really get to the fluff in this section, so there's no point in looking. But you can see there's gears all along the way, right? Not only that, but that's huge. Same with Rex, although Rex has kind of fallen off a little bit. Really good for Vader, really good for Kamala, really good for Numero Uno. If you don't know, Vader can actually hit 100 million with the Black Rumble. So there's that. Low level for, him, but he's mega rare, right? Mega rare. The same for Penta, though, and he's not as good, but really good shards for Austin, which those are normally really low, so that's not bad. Decent for Demolition, but again, is that worth $6? I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities in that loot. So, at the end of the day, if you don't finish the feud, you're going to have 150 prize wall. Get what is best for your roster. All of these are really good options. If you get a recruit, that's a good option. If you get a gear, it's a good option. There's not necessarily a right or wrong. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the live moment, but it might be one of a series where you're going to want that second, or you need the first one to get the second one. So, these are not necessarily... See, they did those as power couples. These are Royal Rumble. They might end up putting them in the loots. Again, Punk's one is the game changer. The rest of them are just whatever. We don't want to spend for them. if we don't have to, because they're not anything that's great. But again, they help. It's one of those 2 MP for live. If you want to run triple yellow, we'll add a little more gem damage. Is it enough to make a difference? No. Either your live hits really hard or not enough. There's not a huge middle ground with her. So keep that in mind. I love using my live, but I've got the flurries plate that really makes her go boom. Outside of that, really good offers. Be smart with it. If you don't have that indie, let me tell you that gear right there. I think it's 4 on the multiply, 4 or 5. 6. So it's a Sherry plus an Armor King built into it. Very, very strong. Before the moments came out, she was already strong. If you've got the moments to go alongside them, I'm kind of surprised for Valentine's Day they didn't have these as well. But if you have these to go alongside of them, then she is an absolute 2-click monster. So all good things. Very good prize wall. Very good loot section with really good shard options. You can't go wrong with this wall, unless you don't play, But if you chase after it, there's some really good rewards. So good luck out there, guys. We'll see y'all in feud.